It's that time of the year again, guys. Bright lights, trees, presents, feast, spending time with your family. It's the holiday season, my favorite time of the year. And this year, I decided to spend my favorite time of the year watching and reviewing every single American Dad Christmas special. Now I can combine 3 of my favorite things in the entire world in one. Making YouTube videos, watching American Dad, and the holiday season, crammed into one beautiful video. But before we actually start reviewing and talking about every single Christmas special, I just want to say happy holidays. You guys have really made this year super special for me. Just having a place where I can talk about my feelings about shows or movies or whatever, and knowing that at least one person is gonna see it and they're gonna maybe enjoy it brings a huge smile to my face. So I just want to thank you guys so much for making this year so amazing. But on that note, I think it's time I go ahead and dive in and start talking about these episodes. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Obviously, we have to start with the original American Dad Christmas episode. So in this one, Stan blames liberals for ruining Christmas. So when the ghost of Christmas past takes him back in time, he attempts to kill Jane Fonda and Donald Sutherland. Side note, I had no idea who these people were before I watched this episode. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not in my early 40s, so I literally had no idea who these people were. So when I looked them up, I found out Jane Fonda was like an actor slash activist, and Donald Sutherland is also an actor. So thank you, American Dad. You taught me something new today. Anyways, back on topic. Francine and the Ghost of Christmas Past have to go back in time to stop Stan from ruining the future, but they're a little bit too late, and by this point, the Russians have already taken over the United States. And I'm not going to try to explain what they said, but it was something with like Reagan, I think. Listen, bro, I have no idea what any of these references meant. I was just going along and laughing at the jokes. Anyways, after some really long explanation as to why all of this happened the way it does, Stan has to go back in time and shoot Ronald Reagan in order for things to go back to normal for some reason. Anyways, Stan shoots Reagan, things go back to normal, he apologizes to his family for treating them bad, and the Ghost of Christmas Past even gives him a gun at the end, so it was all worth it. I really liked this special. For what it was definitely really interesting. There's nothing I can really say that I hated about it. One thing I will say is that this episode is really dated. If you don't know anything about the whole Reagan, Jane Fonda, or whatever stuff that they're referencing, you just won't understand it. But yeah, besides that, I really like this episode. It's definitely not the best Christmas episode that we'll talk about today, but it's definitely like a middle of the pack, definitely a great way to start this off. 7 out of 10. I really just hope that the next episode improves upon the foundation set in this one.
Say Merry Christmas.
Management doesn't want us saying that.
Just say it!
Watching all these episodes made me miss like the Stan from season 1 to like season 4. Like Jesus, he was such a different character back then. Now he's just a goober. Anyways, in this one, Stan gets mad about decorations because he thinks they suck. So he forced his family to go with him to find the perfect tree, which results in his untimely death. After realizing that, he doesn't want to really be dead, he decides to go get a trial to try and get a second chance at life. Unfortunately for Stan, he's up against the best prosecutor in heaven and he has the worst lawyer in heaven. So he loses that case pretty quickly. After losing his case, he decides to go talk to God himself to try and get a second chance from the man up top. So how does Stan go about doing that? Does he just go find God and go talk to him? No, he crashes Jesus' birthday party and then holds God at gunpoint until he gets a second chance at life, which God actually grants for some reason. I don't know, something about these Stan episodes where he learns a lesson and realizes how much he cares and loves for his family. It's just honestly some of my favorite ones in the entire series. I really like Stan's character back in these days. Like, he was funnier. The right-wing commentary was also really funny. And I'm kind of sad that they deferred his character so much in that he's not really this same overprotective psycho anymore. Stan's heavenly lawyer was also a really great addition. She comes back in a later episode we're going to talk about, but in just this appearance alone, I really liked Michelle. She was a pretty cool character. Her and Stan interacting, they had a pretty decent dynamic with each other. So I can't really hate on this episode. Stan being bad, and then his family almost dies. The classics. 8 out of 10. Definitely one of the better Christmas episodes that we're going to talk about today.
Don't you ever pull a gun on me again! Ah!
This was the first American Dad episode I ever watched as a kid, so maybe that's what made me such a weirdo in middle school. Basically, Stan gets left behind during the Rapture along with Francine and Roger, and Stan believes that he got left behind because him and Francine had sex in a church. I'm just not so certain that that's the reason why Stan got, left behind, but I could be wrong about that. Luckily for Stan and Francine, they meet Jesus. Well, not really. It's a guy pretending to be Jesus, and Stan is willing to give up his wife and abandon her on Earth and get raptured, which results in Francine leaving him for the actual Jesus. 7-year time skip later, and Stan is looking battle-driven. Like, he looks absolutely battered and bruised from surviving against demons and all sorts of other spooky stuff during the Rapture. This is probably my favorite future Stan design in the entire series. He just looks so gritty and angry and angsty. It just looks so cool. I don't know how else to describe it. While in a bar, Jesus Christ actually comes in and tries to enlist the help of Stan so that he can stop the Antichrist and get Francine back. And honestly, the Antichrist might be my favorite one-time character in the entirety of American Dad. He's just such a freaking goober. He doesn't do anything. Like, he's literally just the Antichrist. He's literally opposite day Jesus, and it's so funny. He's wearing upside down crosses on like this really like cringe outfit. It's so stupid. And his voice, it's just, this character is so funny. I hope they bring him back at some point because they actually cooked with this guy. After probably one of the silliest fight scenes in the entire show, Stan takes a bullet for Jesus because he wants Francine to be happy with him, and he bleeds out. But luckily for Stan, he finally gets to go to heaven, where his perfect heaven is him with his family once again. I love this episode. Like, not even just because it was my first ever like taste of American Dad when I was younger. This might be one of Stan's best redemptions in the entire series. Watching him take a bullet for Jesus, not because he's Jesus, not because they're friends, but because Francine loves Jesus, it's just great. It's just a great all-around written episode. And seeing that his own perfect heaven / paradise was just him with his family all along, it's just the most perfect ending to this episode. Honestly, one of my favorites in the entire series, and our highest ranked episode so far at a 9 out of 10. I really don't know if any episode will be able to top this one, but I guess we'll just have to find out.
Hello? I'm the Antichrist! I'm the opposite of Jesus in every way!
This is my favorite episode of American Dad, not only because the episode is really good, but because the title is a Metallica reference, and I love Metallica. This is probably the most iconic Christmas episode from the entire series, so I'm pretty sure most people should know this one, but we'll still go over the plot anyways. Basically, in this one, Stan buys Steve a gun, and Steve accidentally shoots the real Santa, like not a mall Santa, the real Santa, which leads to Santa promising to enact revenge on the Smiths and kill them all. Later in the episode, they eventually have to go hide out in this cabin in the far, far away lands, where they get into a huge shootout with Santa, killing tons of his elves, and even getting pretty injured themselves. This is actually the episode where Jeff and Stan kind of become friends for the first time, so you actually get to see them interact on a more positive note near the end of the episode, which is actually pretty cool, because unironically, one of my favorite dynamics in the show is Jeff and Stan. Like, when they become friends with each other, they are actually super funny. I forgot what episode it was, but it was him, Rogu, and Jeff just kind of pretending to be hunters or something like that. I can't quite remember because I haven't watched the episode in a minute. But like, if we didn't have this episode, those plots where Jeff and Stan are kind of just chilling with each other, we would have just never gotten at all. Anyways, in the end, Santa has to retreat because it's Christmas Day, so they can't really kill them anymore. They have to go back to the North Pole and do stuff. This episode basically kicks off every other episode where like Santa's the main antagonist, so that's pretty cool. All in all, I really like this episode. It's definitely going to be the highest ranked one so far, 10 out of 10, easily. There's not much more to say about it. You know, watching Stan and them kill a bunch of elves is just amazing.
I was gonna ask if he's okay.
Oh, no. No, he is dead. He is not okay. He will never be okay because he is, say it with me, dead.
I honestly forgot about this episode, and I've been watching a lot of American Dad, and I literally forgot this one existed. Basically, in this one, Stan wants to play Jesus in a play, but Roger gets cast as the role, and then when Stan realizes that Roger's playing Jesus, he beats the absolute shit out of him while talking about him being a drunk and all this other stuff. which gets him completely kicked out of the Christian faith forever. Well, not technically forever, because there's only one of two ways to get back into the holy faith after getting kicked out. Either A, killing the Antichrist, or B, finding the Holy Grail. Luckily for Stan though, Jeff and Haley happen to adopt a kid who's literally just the Antichrist. He has like 666 plus 2, 4 or something tattooed on his back. It's actually kind of crazy that he got this lucky. It's also later revealed that it's like the same Antichrist from the previous episode that we talked about. So yes, he's coming back eventually. Just not this year. Maybe 2025 we'll get the Antichrist comeback or something. Please make it happen, TBS. I can't go another episode without the Antichrist. This leads to Stan, Jeff, and Roger going to the Vatican to get some holy daggers to kill him. And the kid's name is Nemo. Nemo, aka the Antichrist, goes on to possess Steve, and a giant brawl breaks out between Haley the Antichrist and Steve versus Stan. And honestly, Stan was kind of putting in the work and probably would have beat all three of them if Haley didn't shoot him. Because Haley didn't want the Antichrist baby to die because she just loved that kid a lot. Yeah, so after Haley shoots Stan, she sends Nemo to go live with somebody else, and problem solved. Because Stan gets back into the holy religion because it turns out Roger had the Holy Grail the entire time. All things considered, this episode isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, Jeff is in it, and I love Jeff. He's like my favorite character, so that kind of boosted a little bit. But besides that, the whole plot about Stan getting kicked out the Christian faith is barely touched on, and it just becomes a plot for the Antichrist killing or whatever. And I don't know, I just don't care about Stan trying to kill a child. And also Haley's like really annoying in this one, her killing Stan even though she knows the kid is the Antichrist, so that docks it points too. Basically, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 because Nemo's cool, I guess, and because Jeff is in it. Besides that, it's not great as a Christmas special, but it's watchable.
Are you watching this?
Stan's tired of living his life with his family, so he wants to trade lives with Principal Lewis so he can be a cool bachelor with a white Porsche. And he finally gets the chance to do that when he's putting a tree ornament on top of the Christmas tree, and he gets his wish granted. He gets to finally swap wives, be a cool bachelor dude, have a Porsche. Him and Roger go on a bunch of fun adventures. But then Stan eventually wants to get advice from Principal Lewis as to how to keep being a cool party bachelor. When he goes to Lewis's house, Lewis actually has his family, so they swapped lives. And Stan's not happy that his family's with somebody else, so he does what Stan would do and kidnaps his family and tries to take them back. But when they don't want to go with him, because in this timeline they literally have no idea who he is, he throws himself off a bridge and gets absolutely murdered by everybody on the CIA. They just absolutely kill him. It's brutal. It's really, really brutal. But he learned his lesson finally, so the angels come down and give him back his old life. But then this is where the cool plot twist happens. It turns out that Stan's life isn't actually his life. He's just been living in one of those angel learn your lesson simulations for a very long time. And he completely forgot about his old life with his original family. So he goes back to this original family, who he's like, wow, I literally don't know who you people are. Basically, by this point, Stan has already put 2 and 2 together that if you put the ornament on the tree and make a wish, that you get your wish. So he tricks his wife in this timeline into putting on the Christmas tree ornament and wishing that they were never together, so that they can get a divorce and he can go back to his old life with Francine, Steve, and Haley. And the plan honestly works pretty well. This episode isn't that bad. I mean, by this point, I'm really just getting tired of all these Stan plots where Stan does something bad and learns his lesson. But if you're not watching these all back to back, you really won't notice. I honestly think this one is relatively good. I don't hate it. You know, the cool plot twist with Stan turning out that that's not his real family, that was pretty funny, I guess. All in all, seeing Lewis do Lewis things was pretty cool too. 7 out of 10. I don't hate it. It's just not one of the better episodes, but it's definitely not mediocre or below mediocre. It's just all right. Hey guys, welcome to the halfway mark of the video. If you're still watching, please consider subscribing. I'm still trying to hit 2,000 subs before the end of the year. Once again, I still don't think it's possible, but if you're interested in the channel, please hit that subscribe button. With that being said, let's get right back to the video. So I don't even know if I should consider this one a Christmas episode, but Christmas happens during the episode, so I guess it counts. Basically in this one, Stan forgets to buy a gift for evil Santa, so he asks Roger to help him cover it up before his boss Bullock absolutely crashes out. I honestly just didn't like this one. I'm just not a big fan. It's kind of boring. Besides Bullock, the whole episode was dragging. I'm not a big fan of Roger helping Stan cover up stuff episodes. And it was just kind of a stinker. Kind of boring. I don't know. There's not much else to say. So, yeah, I'm going to have to give this a 5 out of 10. I didn't really like it.
I know you're hiding something.
Okay. I'm the one taking dumps in the urinals. I call it an inside the park home run.
So remember how Santa's like super evil and wants to kill the Smiths and is like evil? Well, yeah, he comes back in this one to do more evil shit. And honestly, I really like this one. Basically, in this one, the Smith family is trying to hide for Christmas so that Santa can't kill them, but Steve decides to leave anyways and just go get his festive cheer on because he's kind of stupid. Steve ends up getting kidnapped and taken to the North Pole to be a child slave in order to like help search for these two things that Santa's gonna use to resurrect some ancient deity. Stan and the rest of the family have to go recruit Krampus to help them get into the North Pole because they needed Christmas magic. Once they get to the North Pole, Santa starts telling them his plan, which is basically to resurrect an ancient deity so they can destroy the entire world and take over and get rid of Christmas because he hates Christmas and Christmas is stupid. Also, by this point of the episode, Steve completely fucking hates Christmas because he realizes that every single year he's just gonna get hunted down and possibly murdered for enjoying Christmas. Unfortunately for Santa, his plan doesn't quite pan out because the deity doesn't get controlled by him. It actually just goes on a berserker rage and Santa fucking dies. So I guess that problem solved. Santa's no more. The Smith family escape and they're able to take down the giant monster thingy. Steve gets his Christmas boner back. I don't know why they phrased it like that in the episode, but that's what they said. I really liked this one. It was pretty funny seeing Krampus and everybody again. Doing another Santa plot that was actually different for once was kind of cool. Watching Santa give like a Apple-style presentation about what he's going to do with the giant evil deity was kind of funny. Along with the joke of Krampus being a bus driver in fucking Baltimore. Like, it came out of nowhere and it was so funny. This one's really good. I suggest you watch this one. If you're gonna watch any Christmas special that we talked about, you should watch this one and the original Christmas episode where they do the shootout with Santa. 9 out of 10. I would watch again. I probably will watch it again.
Of Christmas, locked in this dance forever.
I don't dance with men.
With Santa finally dead, the Smiths can actually celebrate Christmas again. Snot converts Roger to Judaism because Roger's like tired of Christmas. And after going on a Jewish montage, Roger brings Hanukkah to the Smith house where they're not really interested because they've already been doing Christmas for a while and they really don't feel like switching to Hanukkah. So Roger steals dead Santa's clothes and becomes the new Santa. But since he's Jewish, he has to be called Schmanta. Using his Santa powers, he starts converting all of Langley and basically the entire world to Judaism because if you want to get presents, you have to be Jewish. Only people that don't conform to Roger's doing is the Smith family. They continue to celebrate Christmas because they really don't give a fuck. They just want to chill with each other. So Roger starts taking this whole thing a little bit too far. He starts partying. He starts having Diddy parties. I'm gonna keep it honest. He starts having these freak offs while being Schmanta. And Snot eventually is like, yeah, I can't rock with this anymore. Goes with the Smiths and is like, we gotta take this guy down because whatever he's doing, it's just going completely out of hand. They eventually resurrect Santa. Santa gets his clothes back and Santa vows to try and kill them again because no matter what they do for this fucker, he still just wants them dead. Honestly, really like this one too. I mean, it had some funny moments. There's a lot of Jewish humor and you know, I'm not gonna talk too much about that because yeah, I thought this episode was pretty good. 7 out of 10. Definitely not one of the worst, but definitely not one of the best. But I really did enjoy it, all things considered.
I'm king of the Jews! Ah!
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, by this point in the video, a lot of my files got corrupted where I talked about most of the episodes, and because, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm on a really tight time constraint here, because I really want to get this video out before Christmas, and I don't want to release it on Christmas. There's only like 3 episodes that I didn't get to talk about here, so I was like, I'll just clump these together and just give a brief like just talking about all 3 of them, because realistically I didn't have much to say about them anyways because they weren't the greatest of episodes. So Yuletide repeat, season 17, episode 22. It was like pretty alright. It's like the episode where Stan gets stuck in a time loop and he has to save his family, and the only way to do that is by spending time with them. You know, the classic Christmas learn your lesson episode. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't hate it. It was definitely like a solid 7 out of 10. Next up is The Grouch, season 19, episode 22. This one's just Roger as the Grinch for half the episode because he wants to steal Xmas. He didn't get invited to an orgy, so he becomes the Grinch and tries to ruin the orgy because Roger does bad things. This one wasn't the greatest. I didn't really like it all that much. I thought it was pretty boring. I thought the plot dragged out way too long. Roger having sex with an old lady wasn't that funny, and him going to an orgy also wasn't that entertaining to me. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the Roger-centric episodes, so I gave this one a 6 out of 10. And then finally, for the most recent Christmas special, Into the Jingleverse, season 18, episode 22. I didn't like this one at all. It was really, really boring to me. I just didn't care about the whole Stan wanting to be the king of the gifts thing. Also, Santa coming back and being boring and getting written off again after, you know, dying. I guess they don't want to keep using him as the main villain because he gets boring at some point. But I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of this one either. I thought it was pretty boring. All things considered, though, seeing Santa come back as a villain, even though they've done it for like the 1,000th time, it was pretty cool this time, I guess. Him building a VR and trapping the Smiths was pretty elaborate. It was something new for Santa for once. Yeah, 7 out of 10. Didn't hate it, didn't love it. I'm sorry that I couldn't format this how I formatted all the other episodes, but I'm really on a crazy time constraint. I'm trying to work on like 3 other videos right now, and honestly, if I stay re-recording audio for this and trying to get more clips, I just won't be able to finish anything else that I have planned. And I really wanted to get this out before Christmas. I don't want to spend my whole break working on this video and then it comes out after Christmas. I'm trying to get videos ready for the new year, so I'm very sorry that this went how it did. I'm gonna try to be more efficient and not lose all my files next time. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'm gonna put the rankings up on the screen right after my little rant's over with, so you guys can see where everything landed. I'm pretty sure I still have my conclusion written out or saved somewhere, and I'll play that afterwards, and then boom, video's over. But just future me right now, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to this point in the video, I promise you guys the videos in 2025 will be better than they were in 2024. Thank you so much for just supporting the channel this year. It's been a great year for me. I've just enjoyed meeting so many new people in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys so much. After watching all these specials, I'm really in the Christmas mood, and I'm just so excited for Christmas, which is in like 3 days from now. And I hope you guys have a great holiday season. I hope you guys enjoy the weather or just the season in general from wherever you are. I had a great time making this video, and I just want to thank you guys once again for all the support that I've been getting on this channel recently. I love every single one of you guys. I'm trying every single day to make the content better and put way more effort into the videos so that I can attract more people to the channel. Before the video ends, don't forget to hit the subscribe button once again, like the video, leave a comment about what's your favorite episode, and if you're interested, join the Discord server down below. We're going to be doing a giveaway on Christmas, so if you're interested in getting cool stuff, go ahead and join the Discord. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Peace out.